To conclude our chapter on keyframe animation, let's look at this really cool technique to adjust the position keys interactively in the viewport. It's called trajectories. It only works for position transforms. I've got some position keys on my camera here. Let's maximize that top view with Alt-W. And then we want to go over to the motion panel. And within that motion panel, we can click on the trajectories button. And now we can see the trajectories parameters. And if we get in real close here, we will see some white dots. Each one of those white dots is a frame in our animation. And take a look at this. Notice that close to the ends of the animation, the dots are closer together. And then here in the middle, they're farther apart. And that's because each one of these dots indicates the same period of time of one frame, or in this case, 1/30th of a second. And the object is moving more slowly here at the beginning and faster here at the middle because we've animated it that way. We've got auto tangents here for an automatic slow in, slow out. The spacing between the dots indicates the speed of motion. Because again, the time between two dots is constant. It's always 1/30th of a second. But the distance here indicates the rate of change over time. All right, cool. So that's the first thing you can do with trajectories is just analyze the speed of motion. Then additionally, we can actually create keyframes and move them around to create a sort of motion path through the scene. To do that, we will want to go into sub-object mode here. Click on sub-object, and there's only one sub-object type here. It's keys. There's no other option. And now we can add, remove, and manipulate keyframes directly in the viewport for the selected position transforms. I'll click on Add Key, and then just click really anywhere, and I've created a new keyframe there. Notice that we've got a slow in, slow out around that key. We can fix that later in the curve editor if we need to. I can turn Add Key back off again by clicking it again, and then I can select that keyframe and maybe move back a little bit here and directly manipulate that key's position. Now, in doing this, I'm actually really changing my animation pretty extremely. It doesn't really look like much here, but because I've also got rotations on the camera, it's actually going to have a really kind of profound effect on the result. So in this case, I would probably need to go back and revise my rotation keys as well. All right, so I'm going to exit out of sub-object mode. I'll go back to my 4 viewport layout with Alt-W and maximize my camera view and see what that did. So I've done a kind of subtle effect here where the camera is sort of swinging around in an arc a little bit more. But you can extend that technique as much as you want. Maybe go back in there, go back into sub-object keys, and really kind of change it up. Be aware that that keyframe is a certain point in time. And if I change its position, then I'm actually changing the speed of motion. Okay, so it's at a particular frame in time. And I'm not able to change the time by just dragging here. I would change the time either in the timeline here, in the dope sheet, or in the curve editor. So I'm not sure I'm entirely happy with the result there, but that is a good demonstration of how we can use trajectories to manipulate position keys directly in the viewport. That's a real basic introduction to keyframe animation in 3ds Max.